Cannot believe that you guys stayed and chatted for 45 minutes. That was a long phone call. Well, we will see what happens. I'm not happy with that phone call. Are you guys actually able to hear this? Is the next question. I see y'all talking to each other. And I know that my mic's supposed to be broadcasting. Oh, okay. Wanted to make sure we weren't having another issue. So, yeah, you know, after I reset the modem twice, they actually sent a packet ping, which they have not done on any of the other calls I have done. And they confirmed there was a 10% packet loss. Then, from their end, they forced a reset. Now, keep in mind, it's the same thing that I did when I called the first time 45 minutes ago. From their end, they forced a reset. And from what we can tell, for the most part, that reset seems to have worked. You know, we seem to be mostly back in action. However, I can confirm that there are still, you know, issues with the speed. I know that we're still having issues with signal because I can see that. The problem is that they can't see any of this. You know, what I was told is that I have an active ticket open for Monday, so that's still open. And the reason I haven't heard anything since Monday is they haven't done anything. He outright told me that, is that I haven't heard anything because they haven't actually done anything. It may be they haven't done anything because they haven't found an issue yet. He also put in notes saying all of the information he found and that he was able to see the packet loss and stuff like that. But after questioning him a lot and talking to him a lot, there's nothing else he has nothing else to tell me. Apparently, even though I am still seeing issues, the signal is good enough that, okay, see, you say that. Let me show you something. Let's see. That. Let's pop this open. Let's look at this real quick. So, this is a packet loss test to verify if everything I'm sending out is getting to the end, you know, the end location. So I've set it to be like a stream, as in what I'm doing. These are the packets that I send. This is how long I'm sending them for. These are the amount of packets they're receiving on the other end. If this slows down, they're not getting it. If it's red, they missed it entirely. And some of them are arriving late. So, 2% of the packets I sent vanished into the ether. 6.5% of the packets they sent vanished. And 88% of the ones I sent arrived late. And the problem is, if they arrive late, they're not put in order, which means stuff like video doesn't work correctly. So, this has been pretty damn consistent. And jitter's been terrible. Jitter is the, like, difference between the speed of the packets arriving, as far as I understand it. So this has been consistently bad. So yeah, we're having issues now, but we're not consistently... yeah, we're fine now. We're not consistently fine. And that's the problem. We're not consistently fine. Anytime that you guys... I'm looking at the stream on my end. The stream's clear. Anytime you see the stream go fuzzy, I'm having issues. Thankfully, you guys will get to hear things, but anytime it goes down to that ink blot test like Base was talking about, issues are being had. But at least it's enough that I get to spend a little bit more time doing stuff. So I guess we'll go ahead and do that. Wander, you mentioned that you think you know what's up. It's not okay, Wander. Like, this is part of what's just a me thing, I guess I'll say it that way, is that when I do stuff, I seek to do it right and all the way. That's just kind of how I do things for the most part. So having a stream that, you know, does not show correctly, that has, you know, blurriness when I'm paying a lot of money for it not to, and still resulting badly, is not acceptable. Especially when I can point exactly when it started happening, and I've had multiple people tell me that, oh hey, it's probably us, not you. Our brains do very weird things. As long as you can override them, you are not held to be held responsible for your brain being stupid. I deal with a lot of irrational anxiety. I completely understand. The big important thing is that you understand it is irrational. You're going to be hanging out here for a bit. We do need a lot of Lizalfos tails, so... Understandable. Switch to Mifa. I have an interesting thing to tell you in just a minute, so please continue. I mean, the thing is, Base, I mean, like, irresponsible, yes, but, I mean, she could try, or, not she, but that Royal could try going home on their own, you know? I mean, that does make a good deal of sense, Wander. All of that makes a lot more sense than you think. We're on the lookout for, Koroks. Trying to see if there's any Koroks I might have missed in any of these areas. I mean, that might not be a rational reaction, but I want to tell you, and again, I do not speak for all, but I know I speak for, or I speak on behalf of, by repeating things that were said. I need to be very clear on this, because there'll be a lot of people angry if I put words in their mouth. But, I do know, because I have heard many say, that that exact thought process that you just outlined to me is exactly what your friend was thinking when you told them they were not a girl. Down to the wording. That is the exact thought process, the exact type of things that goes through a transgendered person's head when they say, I am this, not that. Call me this, not that. And I say this because it helps to understand the commonalities you have with someone as opposed to the differences. I can tell you, I'll share another personal story. So, as I have talked about in the past, as you might know, I had a tremendous amount of trouble in school, especially high school. After my dad died, I had a lot of trouble attending school, doing stuff, things of that nature. And there was a teacher, name of Patricia St. Germain. She's one of the very few teachers from my high school that I actually remember, because number one, I didn't attend much. And number two, most of them did not leave me with really any lasting impression of them. They were not bad teachers by any means, but they were not teachers who did much for a extremely troubled student. They were, you know, my dad killed himself, and I learned that on, like, the first day of school. So this was, you know, something that really made school very, very tough for me. And there were, of course, plenty of teachers that reached out with various versions of if there's anything I can do, or if there's any help you need. But that is kind of really all they did. And I know that's really me, that really sounds really bad of me to say, you know, what have you done for me lately? Or, you know, that sounds like me accusing them of not helping. Asking what you can do for someone is definitely an important thing, but most people will tell you nothing, I don't need anything, you don't need to do anything. There are people out there that will do more. They won't just say if there's anything I can do for you, they will act if there's anything I can do for you. It's not just words, it's actions, and they will show they're there for you. Some people do this, some people don't, and the people who do this are the people you will remember for the rest of your life. Zelda, you go to this guy. Aoife, you go to this guy. I need to kill these guys so I can continue exploring. But, you know, those you're going to remember. Now, I'm not going to say Patricia St. Germain did a ton for me, but because in actual terms of what did she do, there wasn't a lot. But one of the things she did do is she tried to understand me and to figure out what was going on in my head and try to figure out why was I having so much trouble? What's the... Okay, if he dies, we don't lose. Okay. So one of the things that she learned in talking to me is that I never have exhibited very many traits of masculinity. I'm not interested in sports. I'm not... 5 silver keeps the butcher's shop open and puts food on his table. 5 silver to the banker is something that goes into an account. Depending on the butcher and the banker, obviously. But she made an attempt, and she tried to help identify what was going on, and one of the things that she really realized, this is very true, is that there's not a lot about me that is traditionally masculine. I'm not interested in sports, I'm not interested in cars or mechanics, I don't try to go in posture, or at least not as young men do. There was none of that, group or posse, type of attitude to me. I am deathly afraid of bugs. I would prefer to read than do anything else. There's a lot of these things that, at the time, remember, we're talking about the world of, 18 years ago. Which is a very different world than we're in today. Like, we're in a very different world than we were 18 years ago, and stuff that happened to me 18 years ago would be very different than if it happened today. And one of the things I remember her saying was she sat me down with my mom, and one of the things she told my mom, and one of the reasons she said I was having trouble, now, I don't believe this was actually one of the reasons, but one of the reasons she hypothesized that I was having trouble was she said I am a bridge brain. And she said that was her theory. She was a gifted and talented teacher, so her job was to deal with misfits like me and try to make sure that we could we could survive schooling. Okay, we lost a captain. Do I actually lose, or is that just a thing that happened? That is just a thing that happens. Okay. So what she said is that I am an individual whose brain bridges the gap between male and female. That was her opinion. She said that one of the reasons I was having trouble is that I was trying to be someone who is a little bit of both in a world that only accepts one or the other. That statement would be maybe the same today, but it would have gotten a much different result today than it did back then. It would have meant a lot. It would have meant very different things today than it meant then. Then it didn't really end up meaning much, and it didn't really end up helping me at all, but it was nice to hear that, hey, someone at least gets a little bit of part of me. As I said, fortunately, didn't really end up doing much for me. School still ended up not working out. I still ended up dropping out. But that was something that I remember to this day. I remember the woman, I remember the room, I remember the statement, I remember the terminology. Because what she said was bridge brain. That was her word for it. I don't know where she came up with it, and I don't know if she'd ever seen anybody in a similar situation, though it definitely seemed like she had the way she talked about it. I'm trying to remember exactly why I got on this tangent. So I completely understand the concept of I don't act in relation to my biological gender. My biological sex, rather. That I don't understand necessarily the rest of it, because like I said, I do not identify as transgender. I have not been diagnosed as such. And this was a comment from an educator, not necessarily a doctor. I can't remember off the top of my head what her actual training was, if I ever knew. I could probably look her up. But this was something that someone else noticed about me, and something someone put into words, and something that, now that I think back on it, something that, God, if I knew what that meant back then, my life might be very different. Things might have turned out very distinctly different. I'm intending to go and do therapy very soon, something I've probably needed to do for quite some time, and that I have been not doing. This is something I'm bringing up with my therapist and kind of seeing where it goes. But I absolutely understand the concept of I don't fit the gender roles, but something else. You don't need to act like what someone else says is female in order to be female. That being said, the actual act of being called female, of having the correct pronouns used when someone refers to you, of, more importantly, knowing that when someone else looks at you, what they see is a woman. Trust my router. It would if anything came from it. if it actually fixed the issue, which I understand, you know, therapy does not necessarily fix issues. It's working through things. I gotcha. But if it actually fixed anything, I might be saying differently. But, you know, saying that it is important that people recognize that you are a woman, regardless of how you act, how you dress, and that is important to you, that is a very big thing to many people in the transgender community. If you ever go look at those, you know, go look at those videos. Is she not? Wait, where is she? She's here. You go deal with that. Go look at the videos where someone who's transgendered gets very upset. What are they getting upset about most of the time? They're getting upset because someone misgendered them, or that someone dead named them. That's almost worse for some people, that you use the name they're trying to give up because it identifies them as what they are saying is not me. It's the same feeling. It is very likely that when you told your friend that, you know, they should just wear dresses and paint fingernails but call themselves he, they were having the same visceral gut jerk reaction that you do when someone calls you he. And for the exact same reason. There's Mifa. Okay. Actually, before I do this, let's go and check. Ah! Yep, figured. Yep, figured. And again, let me be very, very clear in that I am not representative of this community. What I'm saying is very carefully personal opinion, and that's about it. And what I am saying are based on things that I have been told by friends who are transgender. Some of these are things I had to learn because I made some of these mistakes. I would rather you learn them from me than making a mistake yourself. From what I'm guessing, yeah. My guess here, and again, this is purely a guess. I don't know you well enough. I am not a therapist nor am I a psychologist. I'm just kind of thinking things through, and in a very big way, I'm trying to think of what would I have done in this same situation? Where would I have been? And how would I have responded? You know, what would my thoughts have been? But in a very big way, what I'm hearing is that you were threatened. Something important to you, something that is core to your being, to your identity. I don't want to use the word being because it gets some really weird connotations with people nowadays, but something core to you as a person, to the identity that you see to yourself, was threatened. It was, you know, the fact that they could be this potentially made you less. And that's something that a lot of people make that mistake. That is, I think, the prime reason why a lot of people who are, you know, very devoutly against gay marriage, I think it's the reason why they're against gay marriage. They feel, yeah, interpreting, yep. But they feel that gay marriage threatens marriage. That somehow two men or two women getting married in some way makes a man and a woman getting married lesser in some way. You know, it's, yeah, it wasn't an actual threat. It absolutely wasn't an actual threat. But it's very easy to see something like that as a threat, even when it isn't. It's very, very easy to see. We all do it. That's one of the reasons why. I mean, you guys couldn't hear that conversation, but I had to make sure there a couple times. I was trying to be reasonable with the guy on the phone, but I also I'm upset about this. Like this not only affects my actual job. Like I'm mildly worried I will have impacts on my job because of all the internet issues I've had, because it is impacting my job. I've had, like, on Monday, 5 out of 8 hours of my day I could not work. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It basically amounts to a sick day. But I know my boss is tired of hearing me tell him I'm having internet issues again and I can't work right now. we have clients who, thank God, they aren't having any issues, because if they were, I couldn't do anything for them. But this potentially threatens my job. But also, it threatens stuff that I enjoy doing. It threatens things that help me break away from life. It threatens, my hobbies. There are threats. So I had to be very careful, and multiple times on that call, I made it very clear to this gentleman that I was talking to that, look, I know this isn't you. This is not your fault. This has nothing to do with you. I apologize if I sound short with you. I am just frustrated by this. Please do not take this as me making it your problem. I understand it's not you. And every time I accidentally said something like, your technician, I had to stop myself and say, look, I'm aware it's Cox's technician. It has nothing to do with you. I am, Base. That's actually one of the things we did on the phone, is he asked if I had records of when the first time I called was, and luckily I do still keep phone records. I also got the number of the case file that was already made, so I could track it on my end. Thank you for the suggestion, though. But, threats happen, and so what I'm anticipating happened is that when you were approached by this girl, who you had previously, from what I gather, you had previously known them as a man, and this girl told you, I want you to refer to me as female pronouns, and I want you to know me as a woman. It's very likely that as a kid, especially, like you said, a young girl, as someone who was in that situation, as someone who had already had, apparently you had issues yourself with, not in the same way, but it sounds like you're saying that there were issues with gender yourself, where you were being misidentified in some way, or that you very wanted to be identified in some way, that you saw a threat, or unconsciously saw a threat, not consciously. And that makes you defensive, that makes you combative, you don't want to hear it, and you respond appropriately. Or at least what seems appropriate to you at the time. There's nothing, there's nothing untoward about that, for the most part. But what has to be understood is that, number one, understanding that you were absolutely in the wrong there. Not to put too fine a point on it, that was absolutely you making a mistake. That was absolutely, I'm going to make a guess, kind of traumatic to your friend. If they were in therapy, I guarantee you that was a conversation they had with their therapist, talking about how they were not accepted by someone they saw a friend. I guarantee you there were sessions on that. Because that is a huge issue for them. That is a thing that happens. Yeah, like I said, I am making pure guesses based off of the very limited information I have. So, don't take this as me trying to read your mind or read into your past. This is me saying, I have both seen issues or situations like this, and, been in situations like this. I have had several transgendered folks that I have misgendered on accident get very upset at me, and they have every single right to be. Yeah, you should probably pick up key items. That is, I agree with you. That is a very important thing to have. Okay, Link, you stay here. And I know I'm going very slowly through this. Number one, I'm not really focusing as much on the game as I normally would be, but also I'm trying to find stuff. But yeah, I'm not trying to guess at your past or to make very specific things. I'm trying to make more general sweeping statements. Mistakes happen. Things do happen. The important things are to, number one, recognize it as a mistake. Number two, recognize what you can do to rectify it. It sounds like, for various reasons, you have cut ties with this person based off of what I was reading in chat. So there's no way for you to directly fix this. So with that person, to directly apologize and make sure they know that now you understand. But you can make sure it doesn't happen again. And you can make sure that when you see someone making that mistake, that you can step in and be the person you need. I don't generally like trying to make a point of having this type of conversation. There's a lot of talk in a number of communities, the LGBT community especially, but also, the black community, Latino community, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of talk about being an ally. And the problem is that I would like to be one, but I'm not the one who can say if I actually am or if I'm acting correctly. That's for someone who's actually in that community to say. But it is kind of on all of us who, would like to say that we are good people that want the best for the rest, that when we see something like that, or when we see a misunderstanding of this nature, no matter how late it is, we need to take action to make sure it is understood and fixed. Especially when it's something so impossible to understand. This is in someone's headspace. If you're not autistic, you can't understand what it's like to be autistic. Not because it's necessarily a weird thing, but because it is something so completely out of your headspace that you can't understand it. I can't understand what it's like to have menstrual cramps. I don't have the parts. So the best I can understand is, what you tell me, and then be as understanding as I can about it, and do what I can to, at least understand as best that I possibly can. And this applies to anything that you can't see, anything that you can't understand. Good. Yeah, just like Base is saying, this person, you may not know them anymore. There's reasons that there's reasons that you don't talk to them. Those reasons are your own, and, talk to them or not, that's up to you. That being said, you can be the one to look out, and the next time there is someone,
nice one.
Truly lacks an E. Okay, I had to read that twice, because I was like, wait, internalize has an E, and then I realized what you were actually saying. But yeah, it's, you might not be able to do anything for this friend, but with the understanding that you can, next time something like this happens, you can take a step back first and foremost. But if you see someone else who is causing a problem for any marginalized community, we're specifically talking about folks who are transgendered right now, but anybody who is LGBT, anybody who, has a learning disability, anybody who has a physical disability, anybody who, this, that, and the other, insert what you want here. He thought, at least if I'm reading this correctly, he thought it was spelled like this. Or maybe like that. But, like, it's a bit preaching to the choir to, for a man to tell a woman that, hey, you should step out for someone who is marginalized. Women have been marginalized more than anybody in my demographic. Believe me, I understand. But that's how we fix this shit. God, now I'm being all self-conscious thinking about it as mansplaining. I am sorry. It depends on who you talk to. Baby side on. Okay, we saw a baby side on. That's all I needed. Excuse me, I was doing something. This guy can wait. I was looking at a Imager post yesterday, and understand that Imager is not, it is a very specific group that has very specific people, and they are as much an echo chamber as any similar group is around the internet. But there was a post made by someone that echoes basically what Base just said, which is that, and this is very true, at least in American society, but kind of in human society as a whole, that men are not allowed to show weakness, show emotion, that they have to man up. That's where the phrase came from. Whenever there's an issue, and just kind of deal with it themselves. And suicide rates of men are high. From what I last recall, suicide rates of men are higher than women. And what was very amazing to me is that in this community that was so incensed about Black Lives Matters, and so incensed about the phrase that all lives matter, there were several people in this community that when this post was made, their first response was, aren't they aware that women have depression too? I don't know why they're making it just about men. I mean, yes, men definitely have issues, things like that. However, men in general have not been the subject of the level of pushdown that pretty much every other group has. That's one of the reasons I don't want to, like, preach some of this stuff, because I don't want to come across that way. Because have been made very aware over the years of the things that I have gotten that I might have not have other gotten. I don't know, Baze, not necessarily in the same way. What others have said, and I agree with this, is while there may be issues men have dealt with, and this is absolutely one of them, like, this is a major issue. Let's not pretend that it isn't. But men tend to, especially white men, still tend to be better off than, you know, than women. And white people definitely better off than, you know, black people. That's not to say that there aren't, you know, white people who are in, you know, that there aren't, you know, white people who are in, you know, slums or in the ghettos or, you know, in trailer parks, things like that, where they have no money. There absolutely are. But on average, and on that point, like, I am not one of those people. I have actually had a fair amount of luck in my life. I've had some bad luck, but we've also had some good luck in my life. And I have had a lot of better luck in some respects than a lot of other people. So I don't want to preach, because I'm aware that, you know, I hate using the word, but that privilege, I'm aware that that exists. So it's not right for me to lecture to someone who might not have that. But I kind of have to get across this message somehow when someone hasn't heard this message yet. And if there's no one else that can give the message, it falls to me to do it. In this same community, and again, I kind of acknowledge that this community has flaws. In the same community, there was a post made. And it was a man saying something that you know what? I think this was a legitimate statement. What he said is, look, I am sorry. There is so much happening. There is so much going on in the world right now that I simply do not have the energy to care about all of it. I don't have the energy to keep up with all of it. The immediate response from the community was that this was a privileged position, because some people don't have the choice to not care about it. Now, keep in mind, I think he's talking about the entire world, everything, all things going on, as opposed to kind of more, you know, individual thing. But there was a response that it's privileged to not care about everything. I don't necessarily agree with that, but a lot of people do. And I do agree that I agree with what you're saying, that it doesn't matter how you have suffered. The fact is you have suffered, and everybody can help each other. But there is a certain point that when one person has stubbed their toe and the other person has broken an arm, one of these people needs to see the physician first. You know? And the person who stubbed their toe is not necessarily the person who should be preaching about safety. We have no... Again. What do I need for this? I need a Lionel trophy. Is there an easy Lionel I can go kill? Like, just a single Lionel, maybe? That's kind of an annoying fight. Like, that's kind of an annoying fight. Element. I get, like, anti-lightning training, maybe? That's just him. I don't think I want to do a hair width trial. Can I not? Like, is there a Lionel somewhere in here that I don't have to one-hit KO my way through? Aw, man, I'm sorry to hear that. That'll work. I mean, no, you're right, Wonder Girl, and you're right, Base. There's just there are a lot of people who make the statement that if you are if the situation isn't as bad for you, you shouldn't complain as much. Which, at a certain point, I agree with that. And there is a kind of a criminal problem with, you know... Oh, this fight. I remember this fight. You know, there is potentially an issue with, you know, people who... they, you know, might have a holier-than-thou attitude. And I don't want to be one of those people. I don't want to say just because I have had an issue, I understand all the issues. Like, that's just... It's not the case. Yeah, it has been a bit since the time we did this one. You're exactly right. You. Drop the stick. Got him. Okay. So, Wonder, it's less that, it's more this. If I sit here... Who is the one who should be speaking to a group about the issues black men face? Me or John Boyega? I can tell you what I have heard, what I have been told by friends, but I haven't experienced it, so I can't speak to it. And realistically, I shouldn't be the one speaking to it. The one speaking to it is the one that should be speaking to it is the one that has experienced it, that has dealt with it, that knows it, and I should be sitting in the back supporting them and making sure they are heard. And what's more, if you have suffered worse than I have, I should absolutely be making sure that you are taken care of first. I don't know what the opposite of crab bucket is, but that's what you want to be. Oh, shit. I mean, you're not wrong. But there are a lot of people that will say that, you know, you don't have enough trouble to be able to preach this. And also, this is not your trouble. You should not be speaking to it. And I waffle back and forth between whether I agree with them or not. Because there's a legitimate point to be found in there. Okay. Blink, I gotta just sell some of your shit, man. You have too much shit. Like, it's the old saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. My good intention is to help as much as I can. But there is a kind of fine line between someone who is in a position to reach down and help you up and someone who is condescending and not helping. I don't want to be that guy. An old man from the Hylian Blacksmith Guild is upset after having an argument with his grandchild. He'd like to smooth things over, so gather whatever the youngster likes for him. Apparently the youngster likes to know I have killed a shit ton of people. Well, shit ton of enemies. Here. I have killed a shit ton of enemies for you. After he brought the old man what his grandchild likes, he smoothed things over with the youngster. In thanks, he taught you his secret technique for evaluating weapons. Improve the odds of higher quality weapon drops. Okay. We need a lot of stuff to be able to get additional weapon capacity, so I guess we'll go ahead and do that. Oh, okay, that's what it's telling me about. Okay, let's go ahead and just buy that shit. I mean, that is very true. Okay, why are you pinging this? Is it because this will give that to... Oh, it's because this gives that to me. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense. Clear some of this stuff out of the way. From time to time, King Rome heads for a secluded lodge to practice with his claymore. These training retreats might even be more effective if he had something to augment his strength. Well, here, have stuff.
I am stronger than ever before.
King Rome made some powerful elixirs from the ingredients and returned from the lodge with his skills quite improved. No one alive could possibly surpass his majesty's deftness with claymores. Hey, and the King Rome gets his ultimate technique. Nice. You also got the warm doublet. Double? Something like that. Where is the King's upgrade that makes him more effective? That's what I want. Do we not have that available to us right now? No, apparently not. Ah, it makes sense. Just don't die. Just don't die, forehead. I need 2 Lionel trophies and 4 Moblin trophies, okay? Let's see. That's got Moblins in it. It's got a Moblin in it. That has Moblins in it. Like, I just need to kill a bunch of Lionels, apparently. Does one of these have a lot of Lionels? Wasn't there something I did that had, like, 2 Lionels at some point? I could have sworn there was one of these that had, like, 2 Lionels. And 2 Lionels sounds right up my alley. This one? Chance to hit is 64 64. Fortunate chance to dodge is also 0 of 225. Yeah, I don't think we're doing that 3 Lionel thing yet. I'm just not strong enough for it yet. We'll get there. I mean, we will get there. We've made a lot of progress, even though we lost like 45 minutes. For which I'm eternally annoyed. But we made a lot of progress. Also, there is a new feature in Twitch. The channel points predictions. I'll be setting those up soon, so you guys can predict what'll kill me in a given run. Just do this one twice. I just gotta figure out what I want to do for, Ow. I just gotta figure out what I want to do for the moblins. This is why I said, like, we'd be doing some grinding, because I knew this type of thing was coming. You're annoying. How are you not dead? No, seriously, how are you not dead? Just freaking die! Yeah, I'd have to figure out which one that is. That's the problem. I have to figure out which fight these are. Ow, that hurt my face. That sounds annoying. That was stupid of me. I should have just not dealt with that. Damn. Come on, you piece of shit. That sounds really irritating. I do not envy you. Man, remember when this fight was hard? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Let's ignore the fact that I just died. That was me being stupid, not this fight being hard. We have reached the point where me dying is because I'm an idiot, not because the game is hard. Ow. Turns out I should not be reading chat while doing this. No, I'm gonna heal. We're just gonna heal, and then I'm gonna kill you. You're going away, boy, and your horse is gonna take you there. Or you're going to hell, rather. Now, be a good boy and bleed to death. Get wrecked! Okay. There's one of my Lionel kills. Still haven't found that upgrade that gives King Rome his actual, like, full upgrade, though. Get a lot of money, though. That's solid. Oh, God. Link has to sell even more weapons. Link! He should stop getting things. What I really need to do is I need to do a big mission that has, like, 3 slots and throw in Link and 2 other characters that need weapons. And then just play Link. Possible, but not probable. Sounds about right. Sounds like psychohistory. I made an Isaac Asimov joke. I'm a funny fuck. That has Lionel in it. Nothing Dash turning 3. No. Ooh, that has Peblets in it, and I need Peblets. There's a Moblin in it, too. I mean, if Josh says it sounds terrible, I agree with him. That dude runs and he knows things. Okay, let's... Hi, friend. Hi, get shipped. And get killed. Go away. Oh, hey, this will be all my Moblins. Cool. God, I love being overpowered. Oh, hey, look, there's another one. I forgot there was another one in this fight. Ouch, 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 ouch. No. Oh, yeah, Terrico's dead. Why would he be in the loading screen? That is a lot of damage. I'm assuming you have very little health. Okay, what's next? Okay. Let us kill all the Peblets. Yes, yes, yes. I'll be dealing with you in a second. You're a big frosty wuss. No. That is exactly what we will not be doing. Okay, onto its back, Link. You're gonna take ice damage, but does it look like I care? Oh, are we having issues now? Okay, it's not as bad, but it's still looking pretty bad. And dead. I'm seeing the frame rate drop on my end. It's been going in and out. Plus side is we're getting a lot of money off of this. Hey, we got a ladle. I wish these joke weapons would actually be like somewhat strong. The 86 was melee to cap out of 48. Wow, that sounds god-awful. That sounds just terrible. Like, not sound fun. Okay, let's go, let's go upgrade the Master Sword. What does this thing have? Strong attack damage plus lots. Okay, that seems solid to have. Let's use that. That. Definitely that. And that. Hey, Jack. Continue upgrading the weapon. We're gonna hold on to that. Let's get rid of that. That. This special. Ooh, that could be really nice to. Oh, that could replace that. Okay, we can't use that. That'll stay there. Battle EXP plus 9, huh? Circle? That sounds tasty. Okay, Master Sword gets stronger. Okay, so what we're gonna do. We're going to remove seals on the Master Sword. We're going to remove specifically this special attack damage plus 10. Let's get rid of some Fleet Lotus Seeds. We still have plenty of Stamella Shrooms. I don't have as many of these as I would like to have, but let's get rid of them. There's some Moblin Fangs, and I have killed a shit ton of Bokoblins. And then we're going to go back in here, and we're going to fuse the Master Sword. I want... Yes! Anything else I want to get rid of right now? That'll about do it. Look at that sexy. Gee, how incompetent they are by having managed to unverify your account. Not be able to send the email to verify the email. That's terrible. And no, this is not stronger than Mipha's weapon. Actually, I need to see about giving Link another weapon worth a damn. See, I'd really like... I need a 55 spear with a blank slot. Let's just upgrade this. Get slightly stronger. Yunobo still has nothing to actually do right now. We could make Mipha more powerful. Oh no, she's maxed. Hold on. Raise the weapon level limit of Mipha's spear. 30 fish. Sure. 30 fish. We need a bunch of... I'm running out of, like, monster parts. Good thing I have a ton of bokoblins. I'm sorry to hear that, Jack. Hopefully they can get you fixed up. I hope for you, Base. Okay, we just upgraded Mipha. Mipha's spear is gonna be even stronger. I mean, it's gonna cost a shit ton to upgrade it even once right now, but... Oh my god, Mipha, I need you to calm down. You're kind of ridiculous.
My god. Mipha's huge.
Oh, hey, we can do this now. Oh, we can... Wait, what's this? I'll buy all the Hydra melons you have, yes. Hey, we can go do this. You heard a rumor that a songstress with the Rito tribe knows a tune that tells of ancient technology, and possibly the parts you seek. Give the diva gems. She'll sing you that song.
Impressive.
Clad in the gems you gave her, the songstress performed at the tune, which did reveal a promising location. Upon visiting the spot, you found parts that might revive Terrico. Okay. Let's go ahead and upgrade Teba, I guess. A renowned bowyer in Rito Village has a technique for making bowstrings more resilient, but it calls for Amaranth. To gain an edge in the battles ahead, seek out the rare plant. Can do.
I have further to soar.
Training for hours with this newly reinforced bow, Teba thought up new move. Now he's itching for the chance to use it against monsters. Was that the... Oh, those were my Moblin tokens. Whoops. Oh, we gotta do this, too. Oh, this is the... Right, this is the one we need 50 things to do. Let's go look for... I mean, I could go do that. That's tempting. What's this one? Defend Hyrule Castle. Why haven't I done this yet?
I wonder how to eat delicious.
Huh. That's really weird, Jack. Wish I could help.